Hey everybody, welcome to
Relationship
Friday.
I love Relationship Friday.
Yes, me too.
I love Fridays.
Look at us. Well, we almost are in the same color.
Yeah. Copycat.
I've had this shirt on for going on 3 hours now.
Me too. 3 minutes.
I don't think so.
I just got ready.
But did you do that on purpose?
No, I didn't.
Well,
I didn't do it on purpose.
great minds think alike.
We've been
Right.
married almost 20 years, and
20
we start
years.
dressing alike.
Yeah. You know, the next 20 are going to be even better than the last 20.
I hope so.
That wasn't the answer I was looking for. I was looking for.
You know better than
Oh,
that.
honey, I
You
can't
know better
wait.
than that. Now we got the studio lights on today. It's bright.
Yes, we do. It's bright.
It's
We're
washing
looking
me
into
out.
it. You see the
We
you
got a
see
little
the munchkin back there?
Munchkin back there playing his
Yeah.
games, preparing for his YouTube video.
His YouTube video. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got a new YouTube channel.
Yes, he does.
YouTube video.
Okay.
You're not he's not making a YouTube video. He's just playing.
saying. Hey, listen.
We gotta make a video of 20 subscribers.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Well, anyways,
Anyway, hey, we're going through a Bible study on relationships on the U version of
hold
the
on,
Bible
hold
app.
up, hold up.
Oh boy.
It's Relationship Friday.
Yes. Oh my goodness. What is this? What is going on?
I gotta set the mood.
Oh, good grief.
It's a candle, but you can't
You
see.
can't really tell.
But
yeah.
see, it's flickering. Oh, you can't
can't
even
even
see. See, it's.
Hold up. No.
Oh, there.
Oh, precious.
There,
Precious.
gotta make it romantic.
Yes. Well, there you go. Okay. I digress. We are going through a Bible study for couples, or relationship Bible study on the U version of the Bible app called Love in Every Season.
Yes, it is.
And so we kind of
And
gave
we-
the introduction.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you want me to?
No,
you want to say
go
that?
for
Okay.
it. Go for it.
We kind of gave the introduction last Friday, and today we're going to start with the first season, and it is the season of spring.
Spring,
Fresh,
fresh,
new,
growth,
Yes, everything is
growing fast.
growing fast, right?
Yes.
Now, what the authors,
Learning a lot about
you
it.
learn a lot about each other. Now, remember, couples, no matter how long you are together, hopefully you are staying together for life. That is
That is the
plan.
goal.
That is the goal, and that is God's plan for us. That you can go through a season multiple times.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not like you go through spring and then you're done with spring and you move on to summer. No, you go through these seasons over and over. So there are times when we're learning about each other, something new about each other. And like you said, right now during the
Oh, right.
quarantine,
Yes,
you're learning
during-
a lot.
During this quarantine, we're in spring
We are in spring.
because we are learning a lot about each other because we're
Yeah.
spending a lot of time together.
We are spending a lot
and
of time together.
I'm happy to say that I love everything I'm learning about you.
Do you really?
Yes. How about me?
Yes.
Good answer.
Really, you love everything you're learning about?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think it's great. I'm getting like my love language is just being.
Yeah, this is her love language.
This is my
quality
yes,
time.
quality time, and we are just spending a lot
You're
of
getting-
quality time.
You're
I'm getting filled up.
You're getting filled up with quality time,
I am.
right?
I am.
So this quarantine is speaking your love language.
It is speaking my love language. Well, it's not a good thing. Don't get me
No,
wrong, but
not.
but you're trying to look at you're trying to make the best of what we have to deal with, and
Right. It's been good.
It's been good.
And we've been able to spend a lot of time together.
there's a lot of time with our little guy back
And
there too.
sometimes she wishes I would just go to the store. and
Well, I
just go
do,
away.
and now it's not so important that he takes me with everywhere he goes. Like if he goes to the store and I want to go with, because now we spend so much time together that I'm like,
Go ahead, get out of here.
go. I want some peace and quiet. I want the TV off for a little bit
Yeah.
because the TV's on nonstop.
Now listen,
Jeff,
the
it's
last
on
the
nonstop.
last 3 days we have had very little television.
Yeah, but
you
you
gotta
weren't
be
here.
honest.
You went golfing.
No, even when I was sitting here, we had the TV turned off.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, so nice.
Yes.
I like peace and quiet.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Do you think I watch too much television?
You watch way too much television, Biscuit.
Well, I like to keep up current with what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm a news junkie.
Junkie.
See, I like to watch C-SPAN.
He does.
I
Well, I
love
can
it.
I can tolerate C-SPAN more than those other shows.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Anyway, back to
spring
our
is about.
spring.
The author was talking about spring is about. Let's just read here real quick, okay? Because I don't want to get ahead of what she is saying.
No.
Like plants, relationships require a pattern of give and take in order for them to grow.
So the whole thing about spring is give and take.
Okay. Now, here's what she says. If you are in a relationship in which you are constantly giving and never taking anything in return, your relationship will eventually stop growing. All right. Now, on the converse, she says, if you are in a relationship in which you are doing all the taking and giving nothing in return, your relationship will soon die.
Oof.
So I was thinking about plants and,
serious.
and how plants are. Plants need the moisture of the ground. They need the minerals that are in the ground to
Water
to
and-
grow. Water and the minerals in the soil
you say
to
water?
grow.
Sorry.
Yeah, and the moisture is what I said.
Okay.
And then they need the sunlight, right, to grow. The heat of the sunlight, and then the
Photosynthesis.
photosynthesis, right? And so they are constantly taking in those
Taking
things,
in a
right?
lot,
But then what do they get? What do they give back? Well, we thought about trees, right?
Well, trees give
Trees,
back
oxygen, right? They give off oxygen
Give
for
off
us.
beauty. They give off shade. They give
Shade,
off.
yeah. Sometimes they give off a little too much pollen.
Pollen,
Thank
yeah.
you, oak trees. Are you listening? Right.
Right.
So they do. They
Well,
are in
plants.
this
I
pattern
mean, there's
of-
certain
of
types
give
of
and
plants
take.
that we eat. I mean,
Right.
there's a lots of.
So they
lots
give.
Of they give.
They give. They don't know that they're giving, but
No.
they do give, right? So anyhow, so it's this pattern of give and take that she's talking about in relationships. Now, I was thinking about those who constantly take in relationships or receive in relationships and never give anything out. Those people seem to be the ones that are always satisfied in the relationships.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I think you're right. I think they're satisfied. And sometimes I think that maybe they're not. They don't really think much past themselves.
Right. It's
yeah.
a
I mean,
it's a
they're-
kind of selfishness,
Yeah,
isn't it?
it is, and yeah, it's not a good thing.
No, but the other person, the person that is always giving and never receiving anything in turn, those are the ones who are
Worn out.
worn out, who get burnt out in a relationship.
Get burned
right?
out. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I think is important in the relationship is, obviously, we all know this, the ability to communicate
Right,
to
right.
your spouse.
Well, I think ultimately
your
we
loved
want a
one.
balance, and I think everybody can figure that out. We want an equal balance,
Mm-hmm.
and in any type of relationship, the only way you can get an equal balance is through communication.
Communication, right? So someone who is always on the giving end and never receiving, right? Never taking anything, never getting anything from their spouse. Oftentimes, if they're not a good communicator, what will eventually happen is they will get burnt out, and everything will come out all at once,
Right.
in the form of anger or frustration, right?
Right.
And that's what we need to avoid. You need to be able to communicate effectively your needs and the things that you want, and do it in a way that maybe the other person is not really good at giving, right? They're selfish. They need some help in that area.
Yeah.
They're not good at
Right.
giving. So there needs to be a way to be able to communicate that. So number one, you don't belittle the other person,
Right.
but at the same time, you've got to communicate your needs, or else the relationship is going to die.
Yeah, right. Don't communicate. Yeah, in other words, you don't want to belittle or play games or throw out little hints. I think when you're talking about this, especially in the springtime when you're growing so quickly in your relationship, it's very important to be just, honey,
Honest.
yeah, honey,
that-
and just, and you just say it with your heart.
And tell her,
I'm missing this, and I understand that there might be areas where I think it's always good to say there might be areas where I'm not giving you what you need, but
Right.
but here's what I'm missing out on, and I'm
Right.
willing to hear your side. I
Right.
think that that's important.
Yeah, and both parties need to be able to come together and work this out and talk through it, because if you don't talk through this, the relationship can die even before you get to summer.
Right, right.
A couple things that I was thinking about. Of course, it just left.
Oh,
me.
okay.
What are some examples? Let's talk about maybe some examples. We didn't really talk much about this before, but what are some of the examples of someone who is giving all the time? What really specifically is she talking about? Those who are giving, they're giving what?
I don't know. Maybe their time and their effort, their love. They're doing what they're not getting their opinion across. I mean, can you think of some examples?
Well, I'm thinking about. Okay, so let's just break this down. I'm thinking about the wife. Okay,
I think
who-
ultimately it's probably
Let's just
Yeah.
it's not important, but let's just consider the wife for a moment, who is constantly doing everything for her man, for her husband,
and for the
right?
kids.
and for the kids, and the husband does nothing but go to work, come home, eat the food, and then either go and hang with the buddies, or
Sit
have the
at-
buddies over, or sit outside, and never gets involved with, in terms of the family sort of situation, right? And so that wife is going to be feeling like she is giving everything in this relationship. She's doing everything she can to make the life for the man easy, and the man is not, in some way, she's not feeling like there's any reciprocation in terms of that. All right. Now, I think oftentimes a man will say, well, I go to work and I provide the money and I
Right.
do all of that. But, and there's a point to that, okay? Because the man needs to be the provider and bring the money home. Someone needs to be the provider in the family.
That's better.
Yeah, right? Someone needs to be the provider.
Sometimes it is the woman.
Sometimes it is the woman. Sometimes it's both. In our relationship, it's both. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is.
So in, but someone is the provider, right? But the point is that oftentimes isn't looked at by people as, whether rightly or wrongly, isn't looked at by the other spouse as participating in the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? She's not feeling love in the way that
Right.
she needs to be felt.
Right.
She feels like maybe she's being ignored more than anything
Right,
else.
right.
That the husband is gone for 8 to 10 hours a day, and then when he comes home, he doesn't pay any attention to her.
Sure.
Right. So she's giving everything that she can. She's cooking his breakfast, sending him with lunch, and making the dinner, taking care of the kids, and doing everything in terms of the family situation. But all he's doing is providing the money, which again is important, but at the same time, he's not engaging in the relationship with his wife.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
And so she feels like she is being neglected, right?
Yes.
And she has to be able to communicate that. Now, the thing about this is, and the thing about you, if you're going through this, which we hope that you will go through this with us, is that there has to be a willingness for us to look at ourselves and examine
Right.
ourselves,
Right.
consider ourselves, to reflect on our own behavior.
Right.
All right?
Yes.
And then do this as a couple. Go down, go separate for a half an hour, reflect on the relationship and how you are and what you are like in this relationship, things that you give and things that you take. All right, write a list of these things down and then come back together and communicate them. Right?
Right. That's a good
Communicate
idea.
those together and then see where each other is not feeling fulfilled in the relationship. That I feel like I'm giving all of this and I'm not getting any of this. And if we can communicate that, there needs to be this willingness to reflect, this willingness to really, truly, and honestly examine ourselves
Right.
and our position in the relationship, but then come together and really communicate and be willing to accept what the other person is saying,
Sure.
right?
Right, absolutely.
And so you can do that together.
It's hard to hear.
and-
It's hard to hear things where you're going wrong. I mean,
Right.
it's hard to take that type of, even if no matter how you put it, you feel like you failed in some way, and some people it doesn't sit well with.
Sure.
And so you have to be careful.
The thing about that, and this is the thing that if you're going to go through this with us, is this. There has to be a willingness and an openness to be able to communicate regardless of how we feel. You're right. It may make somebody, and oftentimes if there's a lot of negatives, we just have to be careful how we say
You
it.
got to have some positives in there.
Well, just remember that you're dealing with the person that you love. You're dealing
Right.
with your spouse, okay? You're dealing with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, someone that you're serious about. And just remember that, to speak these things lovingly,
Right.
all right? But ultimately, what those things are going to be about is about an area where you are feeling unfulfilled. And so if she comes to me with a list of things where she feels like I'm taking and not giving enough, that is just her way of saying, I'm not feeling fulfilled in this area of our relationship. I'm giving everything that I got and I'm not getting anything in return. Can you help me? Can you begin to fulfill these
Right,
things for
right,
me?
right.
And if we could be that honest and that open, because guess what? I don't have ESP. I can't read her mind.
Right.
I don't know where she's lacking in being fulfilled. She can't read my mind. She doesn't know where
Right.
where
I can
I
think everything's
need.
great.
We
you
can
know?
think everything's great. And I watched a movie one time that Matt Damon was in, and he was talking with his fiance, and he said, I'm Irish. Now, I don't know if this is true of Irish people or not, but here's what he said. He said, I'm Irish, and so I can live with something wrong in a relationship for the rest of my life. In other words, there could be a real problem kind of underlying the relationship, but he would be able to live with it. Okay? And so he was basically saying, listen, if there's something wrong, you need to tell me, because I'll just live with it.
Right.
I'll live with it.
Yeah.
So the point is, guys, we got to be able to communicate where we are going wrong. And when you communicate that, then be able to receive, whether it be a correction, however you want to think it is. But if you're truly in love and committed, okay, you will do what you can to fulfill your spouse's life. And so I encourage you to use this, to go and go through this with
Yes.
us. In the springtime right now is the time of giving and taking. And so now it's time for us to take that inventory, to really reflect on who we
Reflect,
are, and then come back together and communicate it with each other.
And I got to say one thing.
Yeah.
And that is that if you do, you go through and you're taking these steps that he's talking about, and you can't come to an agreement, or you're having trouble, call him. Okay, you can reach out to your pastor.
Yes, reach out to your pastor.
Absolutely, and sometimes it just takes a third person in there,
Sure
and
does.
and to help you kind of see the other person's side, and maybe talk through things. And I can tell you with all honesty, whatever happens in that office with Jeff, if you talk with Pastor Jeff, it stays there. It never. He doesn't. It's in all confidence. It's confidential.
I don't bring it home.
He
and tell
doesn't bring
you.
it. I don't know anything that goes on there, and
I
I
know.
don't want to know, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that he's there for you,
Yeah.
and because it's important to maintain these relationships. I think it's what God wants us to do, and
You're exactly right, Stacy, and I would love to be able to speak and help you guys through those difficult times if you're having them. The author used 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. Encourage one another and build each other up, just as you have been doing. All right? And so, this is a time for us as we're learning. It's spring, it's new, everything is new, and it's growing and everything, and you're learning about each other. This is the time really for you to be encouraging and building up your spouse. And so I encourage you to do that, okay?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. All right. Well, we love you. Listen, we will be outside service again this Sunday at 10 a.m. at the church out in the parking lot. Drew and I will be on it for Bridge Connects at 8 a.m. We're going to be talking about love. Pastor Rob will be on at 9 a.m. for his Bible study class about how to read the Bible and getting into a Bible reading plan. And then we'll have church regular service at 10 o'clock. For those of you who still feel uncomfortable to come, please just tune into Facebook, all right? And you can watch the service there. And then Monday when we do our videos, we'll have that video attached to that email, and you can watch it then as well. So opportunities for you, but we'd love to, if you feel comfortable, bring your own chair, bring your own mask. If you feel sick, don't come in.
No bathrooms.
We're going to socially distance. The church will be locked. There's no bathrooms open. So get there at about 1:45 and leave as soon as the service is over. And
It was a
it's gonna
great
be great.
service last
Yeah,
time. So
we
if
had
we
a
can
great
just
time.
do
It
the
was-
same thing and have more people,
it was great.
we
to
got
be,
we got plenty of room to spread out.
Yeah, it was great to be able to see actual faces instead of looking into a camera. So awesome. All right. So we'll see you then. God bless you. We love
God
you.
bless. Gotta blow out my candle.